Buenos días. Yo soy el Señor Morris. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Today, you'll be taking the evaluation for the materials from Unit 2. Now, if you haven't studied these materials yet, we're going to ask you just to do the best that you can and try to guess at what you think the answers might be. Now, if you're taking this at the end of the unit and you finish studying everything, I'm sure you'll do just fine. Okay, from what I've been hearing from your teachers, you all seem to remember all of the materials really well. So, whether you're taking it before or after, just relax, trust in your ability, and try to do the best that you can. I'm sure you'll all do fine. Now, if I could, I'd like to give you some tips before we start, okay? Look at the answers that you're sure you know, and mark through the answers that you know so that you'll be sure not to use the same answer twice, okay? Now, please don't look around at other people's answers because we want to know how you're doing. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and get started by looking at the evaluation form. Please write your name up here at the top of the page. Okay, write your teacher's name. Okay, very good. Now, if you're taking this before you've studied the material, circle pre-test. And if you are taking the test after you've studied the materials, circle the word post-test so that we'll know that this is the test that you're taking after you've studied the materials. Okay? Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and begin looking at the test right now. For numbers 1 through 10, I'd like you to go ahead and, there you go, identify the missing information. Let me square that off for you. From the map, select the letter of your response from the answer key down there and write it next to the corresponding number. Now, I want to remind you to be sure that you're writing your answer in the space that you intend to, okay? So check yourself every now and then to make sure that you're following along properly. Ahora vamos a empezar. Number 1, see if you can identify the name of this direction, find your answer in the answer key, and write the letter of your response next to number 1. Let's continue now with number 2. See if you can find the name of this direction in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 2. Let's look now at number 3, right down here in this direction. What is this called? See if you can find your response in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 3. Continue now with number 4, down here in this direction. See if you can find the name of that direction in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 4. Let's continue now with number 5. Over here, see if you can find the name of this direction in the answer key and write the letter of your response next to number 5. Let's continue now by looking at number 6. This direction over here. See if you can find the name of this direction in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 6. Continuing now with number 7. This direction up here. See if you can find the answer for that in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 7. Number 8 is right up here by that clock. That means we're looking for the name of this time zone that's right along here. See if you can find the name of this time zone. write the letter of your response next to number 8. Let's continue now with number 9. This time zone that comes across this part of the country. See if you can find the name of this time zone in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 9. And finally, number 10. The name of this time zone in this portion of the country. You should only have one answer left. Hopefully it's the one that you would choose for number 10. Muy bien. You're halfway finished with the test now, so you're doing pretty good. Tell you what, why don't you take a second and kind of stretch out your fingers, make sure you're all doing well. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue now. On numbers 11 to 15, you're going to see these different places. Please identify the vocabulary suggested by each of these pictures. Okay? Find the letter of your response and write it next to the corresponding number. Let's go ahead and begin with number 11. Find your answer in the answer key and write your answer next to number 11. Let's continue now with number 12. See if you can identify this area. Find your answer in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 12. Let's continue now with number 13. Can you identify this? Find the answer in the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 13. Let's look now at number 14. Can you identify this area? Choose your answer from the answer key. Write the letter of your response next to number 14. And the last one in this section, number 15. See if you can identify this place. Write the letter of your response next to number 15. All right, you're doing pretty good. Hopefully, those things look pretty familiar to you, okay? Or you're able to figure out some of them. Let's continue now with numbers 16 to 20. On this part, you're going to need to write the numbers in order from smallest to the largest. Okay, and we're looking at the numbers 100, 52, 500, 1200. Write those numbers in order from the smallest up here to the largest down here. Smallest to largest. Go ahead and write out the names of those numbers for numbers 16 through 20 right now, please. Muy bien. Tell you what, that's all of the test itself, but let's take a look at the extra credit question. Okay? On this extra credit question, I would like you to translate these words into English. So please give the English translation of these words that are in Spanish. Okay? Peregrino, pavo, camote. Go ahead and do that now, please. Very good, that's it. Please go ahead and turn your test into your teacher now. How'd you feel? Like you did pretty well? Okay. Did you recognize any of those if you haven't studied the materials? Did you feel like you knew all of them if you have studied the materials? Did you use your test-taking skills to mark out the answers that you already used? Well, I tell you what, if you tried to do your best work, I'm proud of you. And that's all that I can ask for, really. I tell you what, right now, I'm going to go ahead and grade the test. Teachers, if you'd like to follow along and have the students grade the test now, that'd be terrific. We'll go ahead and let you do that. If you need to, put me on hold for just a second, pause the tape so that you can get your papers distributed. That's fine, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to grade the test right now. So let's go ahead and begin looking at numbers 1 through 10. Okay. On numbers 1 through 10, remember we were going to identify the missing information from the map. So let's go ahead and start with that. If this is norte, what is this going to be called? Number 1 is going to be, number 1 is going to be entre norte y este, would be noreste, letter D. Number 1 is D. Okay. How about this direction for number 2? Norte, sur, este. Number 2 is este, letter B. Okay? You see how I'm marking through my answers? That helps keep me straight. Down here, entre sur y este is sureste, letter E. Number 3 is E. Number 4, norte, sur. Number 4 is sur, letter A. 4 is A. How about number 5 over here? Entre sur y oeste is sur-oeste, letter F. Number 5 is letter F. Number 6, over here in this direction, norte, sur, este, oeste. Oeste is letter C. 6 is C. Okay? And the last direction that we talked about, the last intermediate point is up here, number 7. Entre norte y oeste es noroeste, letter G. 7 is G. Okay? Number 8, this time zone here, it's along the Océano Pacífico, would be la hora del Pacífico, letter I. La hora del Pacífico, number 8 is I. And number 10, this time zone here, right by this state of Montana, it's in the mountains, la hora de montaña, letter J. Number 9 is J. And finally, number 10, this area here, what is this time zone called? It's in the eastern part of the United States. It is the Eastern time, and fortunately, that's the answer that I have left. Letter H, la hora del este. So go ahead and make sure that you have all of those correctly. Okay, how are you doing so far? Let's go ahead and continue now with the second part of this test. Okay. numbers 11 through 15. And here we're going to identify these landforms. Number 11. Okay. These look like mountains, and that's pretty much a cognate. Mountains and las montañas. 11 is letter D. 11 is D. Let's look now at 12. Number 12, this big body of water. It is a lake, y en español el lago, letter C. 12 is C. 13. Number 13 here. Ah, that looks like a pretty hot, dry place. That's the desert. That's a cognate. So that is el desierto. El desierto. Letter B. I'm going to mark through that, yeah. Number 14. The forest area. El bosque. Letter A. El bosque. And finally, number 15 down here. A lot of beach, a lot of waves, a lot of sun. La playa, the beach. Letter E. So 15 is letter E. Go ahead and check to make sure that you have all of those right. Okay, we're moving along pretty well now. Let's go ahead and look at this last section of the test. Okay, and on this part, I've asked you to take these numbers and write them in order from smallest up here to largest down here. Well, the first number that we find is this one, 52. 52. 52. I'm going to mark through that. Then we have 100. 100. And I'm going to show you 52 looks like that. 100 looks like this. The next one that we have is 200. 200. And that looks like that number, right? Then we have 500. 500 looks like that. Okay, and finally, 1000. And 1000 looks like that. So that's writing those numbers in order from smallest to largest. And the last question that we have was our extra credit question. And now this is talking about El Día de Acción de Gracias. Okay? And let's see, give the English translation. Peregrino is a pilgrim. Pilgrim, peregrino. Pavo is something that I really enjoy eating. It is turkey. Yeah. Pilgrim, turkey. And then camote. This last one down here, camote, is sweet potato. And I'm going to spell potato without that optional E at the end that Dan Quayle is so familiar with. Ha! I hope you all did well today. If you haven't studied the materials yet from Unit 2, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a great unit. If you've already studied them, I'll see you next unit for Unit 3 when we start to talk about los deportes. Until then, gracias y adiós.